Hey,
Back.
we are back. We made it.
Another week.
And back by popular demand. Madison, Doherty, Tipton. Our fan goes wild. We have one fan, so we're happy about that. But what we're going to do today, instead of goofing around like we normally do, we're actually going to go through two things. The biggest thing we're going to go through is Overskill, and hopefully I'll continue to pronounce it properly. Overskill, which is some sort of app builder thing. Madison will tell you what this thing does. I don't know. It's like way too fancy for caveman like myself. And then I'm going to show you something I just found out today, right along with some of the ClickFunnels employees found out about a new feature inside of ClickFunnels that is
Plot
brought up all
twist.
kinds of curiosity when we looked at it as I said, that could be a big game changer, especially in doing webinars. So you want to hang on for that. So something that will make building webinars so much easier, or running them probably more accurately. So, all right. So Madison, with that cliffhanger right there, why don't you tell us what the hell is an overskill?
Well, if you saw Russell actually put out I think it was like an Instagram story where he said that he's been up till like 3 a.m. the night before last, and last night was 1 a.m. And his trainer still shows up at 6. So he was talking about not getting a lot of sleep because he was coding in Overskill. Now, if you you know the story, Russell's not the techie. He is the expert. He's the attractive character. So what in the world would have Russell coding, and how in the world would he be doing that? Well, if you watch
Coding. Okay, put quotes around that. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If you watch the AI Secrets Challenge, you probably heard about this little thing called Overskill. And what it is a vibe coding platform. Now, the cool thing about this is it actually handles a lot of the things that you will struggle with when it comes to vibe coding. Really.
Now, what other platforms might people have heard of that also do this vibe coding thing?
Yeah, Replit, Lovable, Bolt, like those ones. They're kind of a step below like your Cursors, your Windsurf, your Claude Code. So it's like baby app building. And the problem is that you really have to kind of think of the structure and how are you going to organize all of this and really direct it. Otherwise, it's going to take you down the path that it wants you to go down. The example is I have some friends who thought they were building a mobile app until they showed it to me. And I'm like, yes, you built a desktop, a web app.
Yeah.
It can be run on a mobile device. They're like, but we told it, like, we're giving it all these prompts and stuff. And like, they're notorious for burning your tokens to the ground. Now, Overskill, from what we've been told, is it's structurally designed how Todd would design a new app for their own businesses. So Daily Draft, Offer Lab, things like that, where it has his baked in strategies, concepts, and frameworks in order to help you not get down that path of burning tokens because you fundamentally structured your data or your app incorrectly.
Now, one of the things though here, just to be clear, because you were talking about mobile apps, then you went into Overskill. The apps you're building with Overskill, can they be put onto, let's say, the Apple App Store, the Google App Store? Can they be put there or not?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are not mobile apps. This is a totally different kind of animal. And like what Madison alluded to there, when you talk about Claude and some of the other higher level stuff, they may be building, you may go in there and build, 5 different apps simultaneously, and they're all running together and working with each other, but you're not even seeing what's going on in the background necessarily. This here is designed so you can take this app when it's finished and put it on a web page somewhere. Yeah. So somebody can actually come to your ClickFunnels page, let's say, this app is living on there. They do the app thing right there on the page, and then they move on. Now, does that mean then that you can see this on mobile? Yes.
Yes.
But it's still running on a web page. It's not running.
It's not going to be in the Apple App Store.
Right. Yeah, it's not going to be running only on your phone.
They're going to go to buy it through your funnel page, or you can it'll integrate the Stripe API for you. So basically, it's just fundamentally different. Like I would much rather keep the 30% that Apple will charge you, 15 to 30, depending on where you sit, on the App Store, just for the right to put it on Apple devices. But that this has been new. Like this is something that wasn't possible that a year ago or 2 years ago. You could make it work potentially, but it took a lot to get there and a lot of tokens. So what I did, and this is kind of how we're going to start this, is I just used Whisperflow, and I have this idea. It's actually a solution that I need. I was like, oh, perfect. We'll build it live. A customer service solution for an e-commerce business. I kind of gave it the specs. I just kind of rambled with what I needed to do. And so I came over here to Overskill. Now, there's 2 ways you can go about this. You can just type in here what you want, and Dan's going to show you another way later on if we need to fill time. I myself like to do prompt.
You were going to show that. Go ahead.
So when you go to prompt ideas, you can see I just put my information in here. I hit the little get AI suggestions, which I don't know when these changed to white. Probably need to send that in. A little hard to see. Down here at the bottom, it says enhance and generate app. So I'm going to hit that.
Now, did you turn off the deep research part? Because there is a button on there for like deep research or something. So as you're first starting to build this, and if you wanted to give you a result quickly without burning up a bunch of tokens, turn that off.
No, I did not.
Okay, so this is going to take a lot longer then. You want to turn that off so it doesn't do some massive research. Now, the other thing on here, if you open up another tab, I see you got another Overskill tab there at the top, is there's also a planning function in here too.
Yep.
And I don't think Madison or myself have used this thing enough yet to really tell you definitively what's going on there, but it's more of an issue of you're talking to it just like you would talk to any AI, and you're working out a proof of concept to be able to then give to the builder.
Yeah, they had to actually, I believe, turn the planning mode, just kind of turn it back to beta, because I think that there was some issues with that. So that will be coming back. That's something we know. But as of right now, I do not see it in these buttons.
Well, I think actually you have to, now that I think about it, it doesn't show up until you're actually in. Wait a second. Yeah. It only shows up when you're actually in their building. So now, right bottom left. Yep. There you go. Yeah.
Yep. So it has started to build out my concept here. It's executing changes. It's thinking. So while that works, we'll kind of highlight a few other things. So there are, and I'll take Dan's thunder away, there are templates that you can use. Now, we do want to say, although there is a button for, I think they took it down. There was one for, funnels and marketing. Open your eyes, Madison. You're not going to build ClickFunnels with this. Like, don't think that you can get Overskill and now you're not going to have to pay for ClickFunnels. Also, the way to think about this is, how can you monetize your frameworks using software? So how can you get the person a result faster? That's kind of the whole goal of this. It is a mix between your lovables, your bolts, your vibe coding, with also the baked in part of Todd and Russell that is like, how will you monetize this? Because that's the one thing I see with app builders. They build an app and I'm like, hey, awesome, great for you. How are you going to make money from it? Like, it's like the .com bust a little bit. Like, and I thought we've already gone through this app bust, but here we are again. Yeah, you can build an app. How do you monetize it? And how do you market
and here's the other thing. You said you're not going to build ClickFunnels with this, but I also wouldn't suggest trying to build a web page with it, because let's say you want to build an e-commerce page and you want to sell flashlights on this e-com page. Then, so what do you have to do? You have to do an integration with Stripe, and this does have over 1,000 integrations because it's connected to that one thing that I can't remember the name of it.
Composio.
Composio, yeah. Okay, so it's connected to Composio. It's got over 1,000 integrations you can have there. So in order to sell something on here, you're going to have it build you a checkout element. Okay, fine. You can probably do that pretty simply. But then you got to check it. You got to connect it to a payment gateway of some sort, probably Stripe. in that case there. I mean, I'm sure there's probably others you can integrate with. Then you have to connect it to a CRM of some sort. So you're going to have a CRM that you're going to have to be paying for. So you got Stripe, you got a CRM. Then what else you're going to have? You're going to
You have
have
to send out
your
emails, so you're going to have to pay
product.
for SendGrid.
Yep, you're going to have emails that you're sending out. And very quickly, you start adding all that up, including the cost of Overskill. And to
Yep.
build a singular website, it's going to cost you more than the $97 a month you're going to give to ClickFunnels to have everything all in one place, including the ability very soon, if not, I don't think it's completely there yet, but very soon, the integration between Marketing Secrets AI and ClickFunnels, which means you're going to essentially going to be able to connect Claude to your ClickFunnels account and ChatGPT and everything else. And I'm sure there's going to be probably some integration here with Overskill directly to ClickFunnels. I mean, kind of makes sense. These guys own all of this. So, and I've certainly heard whispers that those are the things they are working on, and definitely they're working on implementing the APIs on all of these. And so, so just get yourself a ClickFunnels account, get yourself a Marketing Secrets AI account, and it's going to be cheaper in the long run going that way. But one thing, though, I did say APIs. One thing yesterday, I was working with someone, and they were trying to collect information off of Etsy and be able to search and sort and do all this kind of stuff, basically trying to find the things that were best sellers on Etsy. And they ran into a problem because Etsy's API does not allow you to see certain things. So just be aware of that. Before you go in and start building yourself an app, you might want to jump on something like Claude or do the plan mode here in Overskill and say, tell me everything you know about Etsy's API. What information can we pull and what information can we not pull? Because you want to know that before you start spending a whole bunch of time trying to build an app that can't do what you want it to do because it can't get the information from where you're trying to get it from.
And that probably is not to, take money from Todd and Russell, but that's probably best just using your Claude account because something like that could be super low tokens. You probably can do it within your 5-hour window of your subscription plan. Remember, everything that you do inside of Marketing Secrets, Overskill is basically thinking about using Claude with the API. So Claude obviously has an API, allows you to embed it into other programs. So you're going to pay by the token. So basically with these apps, you're buying a pack of tokens every single month, either rolled in as a subscription. And we had confetti go off.
Green is blowing up there.
I think because we finished up the first one where we set up the design system in 1 of 7.
This thing, just let y'all know, this doesn't happen in 2 seconds. These kind of programs take a while to run, but you got to think about what it's doing in the background. It's writing all kinds of code, it's setting everything up. And code at multiple levels. When we get done here, we can show you there's this one, it's like a sidebar, but it's in the middle of the page for some reason. But you can open that up and you can look at all of the code files. Okay, you found it right there. So I don't know if you click on code, see, it's already setting up all of these different files and folders and everything else that you would have had to set up yourself to make this run in the past. So it's, like I said, it's all pretty cool stuff. It's just, I was talking to some people yesterday and I said, for me, AI is about 2 things. It's about speed and about speed of producing things. And the other one is speed of learning. Because I was, thinking one day about how long it used to take me to write code. Because, okay, I want to do something here and I'd have to Google it and go to, places like Stack Overflow and Mozilla's site and try to figure out how to do these little things. Now I can just ask Claude or I can ask other things or you can even, something we might talk about next week, you can actually go directly into any web page you want, go into the editor, the Chrome DevTools in there, and turn on the AI in there and go, tell me how to do X, Y, and Z to this button on the page. Read the source code for me and tell me how we can do this thing. And it will do it for you right in there. So like I said, we might talk about that next week because I've been doing some pretty cool stuff with that lately. And it just, when I found that in there, just like, you're kidding me. Right. I was just like, holy cow.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's really why, like, I used to build mobile apps like the hard way. And I know there was several times you get that red screen of death, and that's what you see in a simulator on a mobile app when it crashes, and or it has a bug or it has something it doesn't like. It doesn't give you hardly any information you can comprehend. Dan, it's basically you get a red error on the console log of the inspector on a web, a website or something like that. Same concept. And it would literally be potentially 2 weeks of trying to figure it out, because you'd go to Stack Overflow and you'd click somebody's response and you try to implement it, and then it's like, no, that didn't work. So you have to go through and you'd have 50 to 100 different posts of different concepts of what it could be. And that's why I walked away from traditional app development, because it was just like, okay, I'm so close, and it's like, oh crap, like you'd be like, oh, I'll figure it out tomorrow. Then no, you're still at the same place, 4, 5, 6 days, 7 days, 2 weeks later, you're still at that same spot. And that is literally the thing that is getting between you and money, you and finishing this thing up, is that one error. The thing you don't know, you fix that one thing. Oh, when you tested all those things, you made those little tweaks. Yeah, you broke something else down the road because you changed a package dependency or a version control of something like that. And that is like, it wasn't worth it to continue to spend the time to do that. Plus the discovery marketing,
and James Kern made a good point probably a couple of weeks ago. I saw he had a post in the ClickFunnels Facebook group, and it was about, you have to be, we all think that, oh, we're all coders now, Russell's a coder now and all that. And he goes, one thing you learn when you're an actual real coder, like he spent 20 years doing, is that when you touch one thing, like you just said, you change one thing, it could affect 20 other things in there, and you have to be aware of that. Each one of these things is completely codependent on other things. And so you make one change and it could just crash everything. And so now, will the AI help you find that faster? Yes. But I know recently I was working on building a bot inside of Marketing Secrets. And the other thing that AI likes to do, besides the fact it'll like change something and then break everything else, but it usually finds what it broke pretty quick. The other thing it wants to do is to continue to help you in quotes, help you make this thing better and better and better and better. And then finally you have to get to the point where you go, and I did this the other day. I said, stop. I said, wait a second here. We need to go back in here and strip out half of what we just built because the Marketing Secrets chief of staff is the one that should be doing that. We shouldn't be doing inside the bottom building it. We should be allowing the chief of staff to do that because it's already programmed to do it. And as soon as I did that and we stopped and stripped out all the complexity we were trying to build, boom. At that point there, it started working. So think in that terms too. Think of make it as simple as you can and still get the results you want. Simplicity.
And that's the beauty of a tool like Overskill. At least that's the hope with it, right? Is that the way that it is initially prompted, because these prompts are baked in, right? They're designed. And definitely I don't even call James a coder. Like, he's a software engineer. Like, he's significantly smarter than a coder, right? Like, I'm a coder, or I play one on TV. So James actually knows how to do this stuff, right? I fumble my way through.
Well, what he refers to himself as a full stack developer. That's
full stack engineer. And so this has that framework, right? And really, this is actually a good example of showing you the power of what you can do with software, right? Todd has a framework. Ultimately, he could go out and he could sell that as an expert. He could have a webinar. He could pitch his software engineering framework, but he's built a tool where he takes his framework and made it in a way that you will pay him monthly for access to this tool. And I think that's the power of Marketing Secrets and Overskill when you look at it from a business perspective. Because I know, like, the example is selling stickers. I've taught people how to sell stickers. But the thing is, like, there's a lot of steps. And there's a lot of steps where you get frustrated and distracted and all of that. It's like, what if I created an app that showed you how to create your first sticker? And actually, not just showed you, it created it for you using my frameworks. So I know that I have, like, Trey has his 7 Ps, right? And if you didn't know, if you didn't see the email, that challenge is coming back. So he has certain things he looks for. Well, probably that's going to be baked into a software like Overskill, where it's like, here's your products, here's your niche, all of that stuff. That's the way people need to think about this, especially if you already have a course or you are in that expert business.
I just have to make myself a note here because I forgot that Trey's thing is coming back. So I have to make myself a note that I should probably be promoting that. When's it start again?
Did it start on the 11th?
I don't know. It might have started yesterday.
Why do I think the 11th is in my mind?
Or does it start as Saturday? You know, I actually saw something from Tim Hewitt talking about that, and I didn't think about it. I thought they had been running that every week, but
No.
I really don't know. And what you get on the back end on that, just kind of go off on a tangent here real quick, is you get something known as from the Dan Kennedy world, is the what is
Tomorrow.
it? Seven-figure academy. Starts tomorrow already. Okay. Seven-figure academy is one. It's a training that that Dan did. Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look at the year on it, but I'm thinking it's certainly, I think, in between like 2010 and 2015. And so it's one of the last major events he did. I think the last major event he did was probably like 2018. And by then I think he had already become so ill that, but then somehow or another he managed to survive hospice. It's amazing. The strength of that man is incredible. And his brain is even more incredible than his strength. So on to that. How far along are we? We're still not there yet. Okay.
We're almost there. We're at 86%. So do you want to show your thing, Dan? And then
okay.
I'll let you know when.
So I was just on the open office hours call for the funnel builder certification, and every Friday they go through the updates for ClickFunnels itself. Yeah. So let me find where I have to go here, because I have not even done this myself. They showed what it was on
and of course, as I switched my screen, it says done. So that was under 25 minutes.
Well, we'll give everybody a cliffhanger then.
Yes.
So we'll come back to that. Let me see. I got to find the right window here. Okay, I should be sharing my window. It says Google Chrome shared. There's your screen. So are we there? Oh yeah, yep. I can see my mouse moving around there. Okay, you want to come in here to right down here to your workspace settings. We're going to click on that, and they got a new thing here called workspace attributes, not to be confused with your contact attributes or custom attributes, or who knows what else is called attributes in here. But these are your workspace attributes. So we're going to click on that. Haven't even added one yet, but we're going to add a workspace attribute, and we are going to give this here the label of, I forget what I called this over here, webinar date. So we're going to put in here webinar _ date. And let me see here. Is it going to be a text field or select field? Oh, I didn't even know you could do select fields in here. But we're going to make it a text field, and we are going to create this field. And so now we are going to come up here and set this value, and we are going to set this value for tomorrow's date. So we are going to enter value for webinar date. So we are going to say, well, let's just say today, because I got it in front of me here. So Friday, June 12th. Okay, we are going to update that value now. So think about this from the standpoint of running webinars. And so either Madison had frozen there, or she was deeply contemplating what I was saying with her eyes closed. So we're going to put in here this date. So now every week you're promoting a webinar, and you got it on 14 different pages, and you have it on emails that are automated and being sent out. Yes, Madison, it works on emails. It works on emails too.
Oh my gosh.
And everywhere else. And in fact, where you can find this, we'll come here training, certification, feedback. Let me see here. Change log, workspace attributes right here. So if you come into the change log here, talks about it, and it says workspace attributes give these reusable details one home. Save the value, workspace. Let me see, margin. Well, where somewhere in here it says where you can use it. But here's the real key. You got to grab this whole thing here because this is a dynamically updated element. But there's another cool thing about it that I've already discovered is, so you got to make sure you got your double curly brackets around it and all that kind of fun stuff. But then you put that in there. And so we're going to come over here. I already dropped it into my little page here so we could get this going. Now here's the real key. So let's go back here. So I called this webinar _ date. Here I called it workspace dot webinar _ date. Put the double curly brackets around it. But now you got to click on the gear here. You got to go to advanced and you have to say this has to be dynamically populated. And watch what happens when this dynamically populates. Well, okay. Is it going to show right? All right. Well, when when Greg was showing it, it was showing the actual date there live on the page, which said to me, this is being populated server side. So because of that, you could create an attribute, put it on a page. You wouldn't have to necessarily be showing the page. And based upon that attribute being on the page, it could trigger JavaScript code that you have running on the page and have the page act differently dependent upon what you had in that attribute field on that day or time or whenever. And because if it isn't yet, it probably will soon be available through the API. You could actually tie your AI to the API and have that change dynamically whenever you wanted it to, therefore triggering different code to run on your page. So let's just see what this looks like. And that last part was all pure speculation, but I've done enough of this to know you should be able to do what I just said. If not today, soon. So let's just see.
Even if all you have to do is change one date. I mean,
yeah, well, it doesn't have to be a date. So, I mean,
or whatever title. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could just come in here and we could add an attribute and I could just say, let me think.
Zoom link.
I'm trying to think of, something that would trigger some code. Let's just say, whatever, a special. We got a special this week here. Let's just say we have this special and, here, I got to do this one here because we got a select field, allow multiple selections. Sure, let's do that. What options would this field have? Let's just put in some colors just for fun, just so we can see what this thing looks like. Yellow, blue, green. That's enough. Create the field. Okay, so now we just have this called special. So we got to come over here. And now if yours is doing the same thing mine is doing like this, yeah, I don't know why it does it. Don't worry about it. Just we're going to add a new element up here. And then we can drag it down. We'll just make this another sub headline element. And then we'll pull this down here. And we'll just
the caveat we should tell people is once you dynamically set it, if you change it, like say Dan wants to delete date at the top, you have to create a new element. So like basically once you've attached the dynamic field and changed it, it gets unlinked. And so you have to try again or clone it.
Well, that may or may not be true because how
it used to be.
You're right. They had fixed that, but now I'm seeing this again. So let's see here. Can I come in here? And yeah, I think I can edit it now. In the past, you couldn't edit it at all. Now it's still giving you this weird thing. Whereas, like I said, on Greg's computer, it was working just fine. It actually showed the date right there on the screen because he was doing the same thing with the webinar example. It showed the actual date right there on the screen. So now let's save this and update it. And okay, so there we're getting nothing. So who knows if this, maybe I set it up wrong. It may not be working right. Set value. How come? Well, I thought I had set the values. Oh, okay. Now I got to come back in, select all that apply. Okay. All right. Didn't expect to see that. Then we'll come back over here and let's reload that page. And not sure how that makes that selectable, but whatever. It's brand new. It's beta. You get the idea. But like I said, I mean, just if all this did was, here I'm going to go into webinar mode. If all this did was give you the ability to change the dates on everything, including emails, because somewhere in here, yeah. So here it works across broadcasts, workflow emails, the email editor, and your published funnel pages, sites, and courses. Every workspace has access today with no setup required. So yeah, so if you got a bunch of email blasts you're sending out to people and you got an evergreen webinar,
yep,
here's your answer to that. You don't have to, you change it one time. Well, more accurately, every week you have to come back in here and you have to change this value right there. So that's all of a couple of seconds. And like I said, once this is all fully implemented into the API,
yep,
you could just have AI update it every single. You could probably have, eventually, give it a couple months. If it's not available now, probably within a month or two, you can have your marketing secrets chief of staff run a routine and update this thing every week for you. And
I have
that
clients
is really,
I have to convince to run a webinar again because that was the biggest nightmare for me, to find all the places where the date was incorrect.
well, and that's one of the things that Greg said, that apparently in what I forget which one it is now, 2CCX or whatever, where they really focus on doing webinars. He said they have like this whole big manual, a whole big long checklist of all the places you have to go every single time you need to change the date for your webinars.
Yep.
And so I have a feeling that might have had something to do with the catalyst here. But the other thing I was thinking of is, we're moving at the speed of AI now. And so as far as features and
with Russell coding, yes, we are.
Yeah, if Russell can be coding, then yeah, we're all moving at the speed of AI at this point.
Yeah.
So I will relink and let you go show us what you got there now.
So if you were hearing those little dings that were going off, that was changes, things that Marketing Secrets or Overskill was actually implementing. So here we have here. I don't love the background. I'm gonna make some differences to it, right? It's a little
hang
funky.
on 1 second here. It's one thing I figured out about this. It gives you 2 different versions, and somewhere in here you can pick which version you want, because it gives you a full-on page where your app can live, but then it also gives you just the app. So I'm guessing the app is just the box on the right side here. That is the app, and you can take that and independently drop that into another page. There's somewhere in there where you can get the download links for each one of them separately.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's preview. That's preview tab. So we didn't want that. It is, I saw it's right here where you have just if I went to just dashboard.
Well, either that or maybe it was in under the dashboard. I think under dashboard and like code, you could grab just the app or the full page or something.
Yeah. So what the things like as it was going through, and it's down here. See, it's suggesting things that I should add to it. And one thing I was thinking about was like, oh, well, what if I could just hook up my Gmail and anything that comes through that is a, like I would have a support email address, right? Or refunds or whatever would go here. So under integrations, it's set up Gmail. So click your app names. Maybe settings. I can toggle dark mode. Scale dashboard. That's interesting. Let me push me back to Overskill. But up here, it does have connect your Gmail. And that's the only thing. It's like, I just didn't want, I was constantly thinking about it. Like, honestly, I'm not going to sell this. Like, this is just for me, but maybe different clients, I would want them to have different dashboards and different email addresses integrated with it. And this has been
So
You
go
know,
back here for a second. What was this app supposed to do?
handle customer service requests.
Okay, so that's what this was. Okay.
Yep.
So does the widget then, the black box on the right hand side, go back so we can see the preview of the page, or is that it? Or is it?
This is the page. This is the dashboard.
Oh, so this is what it built.
Order flow. Yeah.
What was the other page then with the? They look like
This is the sales page.
Oh, so you're selling. It thought you were going to be selling this app.
It always seems to create you a sales page.
Okay, so it wants to sell the app there, but this here is actually, so this is built not as like a client-facing thing. This is just for you to be able to work in the background.
Right.
Okay. All right.
I could sell it, right? Like, everything is. So let's see. The other thing is, like, if I want to connect it to ClickFunnels. So it said, wire up ClickFunnels so the Ops Center can pull a customer's real order and verify them.
Okay.
The other thing is, I believe Winter Jones did a video on Overskill. I was going to try to watch it beforehand, but Winter would be the man with the most knowledge. Just who we should invite it on today, Dan.
Well, I think we got to figure out what, have an idea of what this thing works before he comes on here and starts talking to us in geek, and then we have to try to translate when we don't even know what it does yet. So, come on.
So if I go back to integrations here, I just don't. Okay, this is a workspace connection. Connect once, and every agent on your team can send through it. It does not tell me how to connect it.
Well, I guess that's when you ask it, how do I connect my Gmail? Or just tell it, connect my Gmail.
So let's see. It can't take screenshots yet, so that's unfortunate. And say, go this way. There's no button to connect my Gmail. It says this is a workspace connection, but where would I find those workspace connections?
It says click your app name, top left, integrations, find Gmail, and click connect. So click.
So now it's come through, and then what it did.
Well, right click up where it says Overflow AI at the top there, on the top left. Right click that and go to integrations. There you go.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I wanted it on the app, but so I would just need to. And so this has taken about 7,000 tokens.
Yeah. You did start with about 70.
Yeah, about 70. Yep. So
okay, so now, so it knew right there. It cost
$60 if I buy in a top off pack.
Oh, if you buy 11,000, so
yeah,
6, 5. Yeah. So this, yeah, it's not cheap. So yeah, you just spent $50. That's why, you want to do some planning either. So when you're doing the planning part there, like I said, I think that's a lot cheaper, or do more of your planning outside in Claude or something like that. Because like I said, going back to the example of, you're going to try to integrate with Etsy. Well, figure out what Etsy will allow you to get first. Because a lot of these APIs are not complete APIs where you could pull up every bit of information, because they don't want you to get it. I mean, Etsy does not want you to be able to easily compile what everybody is selling their stuff for.
No.
Because you've tried to do it with Etsy before in the past, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's the other thing that we had this screen up while it was going, and people are probably like, well, what the heck are you talking about? So this does automatically have your database set up already. Let's see your data. We don't have any data in here. Here's the schema. Here's the users. Obviously, I'm going to be able to grant them different access. Analytics. We see page views, traffic, all of that. You can see all the logs. And this was really the stuff that surprised me, because this is stuff that's hard for people to integrate and to use. or just not to use, to set up for their own apps, right? To have the analytics, to have this shows you the AI that you can use inside of your app. Here's our project brief. Here's the other cool thing. Like I can have if I have some other app, it can hook up or to these API endpoints, which I think is honestly really cool that they built this in there.
Okay, so hey, hang on, go back to that one there. So these are API endpoints for people who know what that is. So in this case here, we got ops, action, AI reviews. There's nothing I could really make sense out
So
of
like
here.
up here where it's like messages or tickets, right?
Okay.
Get tickets or post tickets. So say I wanted to integrate. Like I'm trying to figure out like what you would do. Like even if you want say Shopify, for example, right? And I get an email on Shopify and I wanted to push it to this, I could use an API or I could use N8N or some platform like that. If I also wanted to run a routine where it went and got the tickets every day and sent it to me in Slack, like it would go through and go get tickets. And that's going to pull.
But here's the real thing here, which I think what you said and what made me think of it is you could build two different apps. And so this app here has all the endpoints built into it as is built. This app over here has all their own endpoints as well. So this app over here can call over to this app's endpoint and say, okay, give me all of your tickets. And then it comes over here to this app, and then you do something else over here in this app with it.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to build everything into one single app, which can get very complex, you're better off having them do individual tasks and then pass the information back and forth to each other through the API.
Yeah, pretty much. I think Slack would be the one that would be a good example. If you were maybe using like Hermes agent, OpenClaw, something like that, you would want to utilize this. But to have this is just like automatically the way that this is built in here. This is a little bit Todd and this is a little bit Andrew, right? And to the forethought to think about including the API endpoints that like now if Dan says, hey, I need to hook up my Shopify page to your blah, 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 we can do that. And so this is based on whatever your data is in this data schema.
Well, and it could be that as they built out ClickFunnels 2.0 and they put the API in there, then they, came back later and go, we should have built out that API a lot more robust than we did. So while we're building this one here, let's build it robust on the front end because we're going to now have to backwards engineer this thing into ClickFunnels so that.
Actually, Dan, you're wrong because ClickFunnels is built on Bullet Train and everything is exposed as an API endpoint on Bullet Train. So I think they're going, why don't we just make everything an API endpoint in Overskill? So that's basically because we have AI reviews, escalation, guardrails, response templates, ops, messages, and tickets. Those are pretty much everything that we have here. Response templates, tickets, messages, guardrails, escalation rules, op actions, and AI reviews.
Okay, so as we go down the list there, I see email. So obviously was trying to connect your Gmail to it, but
this is for sending email. So like in my case, it's probably not that much needed. What I was trying to do is I was trying to get tokens or messages into my Overskill app. Order flow is what I called it. What this is doing is like if you wanted somebody to say get a welcome email when they bought your app, that's what you're creating in this section here. These are marketing emails, order confirmations, new features available to you. This would be going out to your customers who have paid for the app. This is where it gets a little mucky in terms of how you will use Overskill and what you will build, right? If I'm just building an app for myself, I'm not going to need these. But that sticker concept that people would then buy, and I might want to send them an email and say, hey, your sticker design's ready, or whatever the next thing is, I would use something like this.
Well, and one thing too, because let's say you are just building this for yourself, you just wanted a dashboard somewhere that could pull in some information and you could see it. And you don't need the email part here. You could go back to Overskill and say, hey, that whole email part, I just want you to go in there and take that out.
Or
Because
just forget it.
I'm never gonna use it. Just take it out. And what I was saying earlier is just make these things as simple as they possibly can be. The less moving parts, the less things that can break.
So the other thing is like all of this, the logs, the APIs, the emails, the monetization, that's all like the framework that comes with every Overskill app.
Yeah.
So like this is robust and all of that. So
So what does monetize? What does that look like? Let's look at the rest of these here because we're almost at the top of the hour.
Yep.
So in here, Overskill payments. So they have their own payment platform in here?
Yep.
Okay.
I can connect my own Stripe soon. You can use a Shopify storefront, external checkout, or free, no payments.
Okay, so external checkout, Gumroad, Lemon Squeeze, Paddle, Custom. I have no idea what those are. So we got Task. What does Task do for us?
Hold on 1 minute.
Yeah, okay.
So here's, this is where I would say check to make sure all of my orders have been cleaned up every day, or there's no need for like how many tickets have not been resolved.
Okay, so think routines. If you're thinking about Marketing Secrets AI, they would call these routines over there.
Yep.
Whereas they call chats over there tasks for some reason. So yeah, just every platform is going to have different words. So just keep it straight. What is an ENVARs?
So environmental
variables. There you go.
So this is going to be like my app URL. This is going to be the token and to get into this. It's going to be the redirect. If I need to incorporate like my Shopify API key, then I'm going to come up here and add the variable. So the name and then the value of that. And then domain, I can set my own domain, but Overskill will give me a domain. So like right now I could hit publish and this would be live.
Right. And so for your own purpose, if you're just running this yourself, you don't need to put in a new domain. But if you're selling this and you sell it to 20 people, they can come in, they can create their own new domain, I would guess, once they buy it.
No. This is just app-wise. This is just at the app level. These are all multi-tenant apps. Yes. Like think of it like ClickFunnels.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I sell this app to somebody, so then it would be, let's say my domain is myapp.com is what I put in here for my custom domain. Do they have to then have bob.myapp.com?
No.
Or they would just run it on myapp.com?
Yep.
Okay. So they can't customize the domain on their end.
I don't believe so. Maybe that's coming soon, but
if you're selling it to them, as an app, I was gonna say if you're selling it to them as an app, most likely you're just giving them an embed code and they're embedding that on their page anyway.
No, I think you're thinking about it a little bit different, incorrect. Well, you think about it one way. I don't think that's the way it's really designed. This is for me to sell you access, not for me to sell you a way to create your own app or your own version of my app. This is just like going to ClickFunnels and you have your workspace, but you can't then create another workspace underneath that one.
Well, no, I wasn't thinking that, but if I'm selling you access to, let's just say I'm selling you a financial calculator that you're going to put on your webpage. So I'm selling that to you. You then take that embed code and you stick it onto your webpage. And then the next question becomes is how do you keep them from putting that onto 14 different web pages, or don't you?
You can't.
Or could you? I mean, could you limit it to domain or something?
Yeah, I mean I would imagine that would be how you would have to do it.
Yeah, but we're going down a rabbit hole on that one then.
Yes, kind of an edge case, but yeah. So here's where I can change the name, I can change my icon, and then I can see who is set the visibility levels. Login required, purchase required, domain. So only specify specific domain, email domains allowed. So say like I sold this at a level for Facebook.com, right? And everybody, Facebook pays, anybody with a Facebook email address can sign up. So that's where I would use, like, you'd have to have a Facebook email address. So, allow others to remix this app. Other users can create a copy of your app in their account. So this is a pro plan or higher. So this is where you would then sell somebody their own financial calculator.
Yeah. So,
and they would put their own secret sauce in it.
Yeah. So here's my caveat to everybody on this. So my understanding is they have allowed a couple hundred people in so far. Yeah. They're letting people in. Susan said yesterday they're letting people in every day, or she said that maybe this morning. Seems like yesterday already. So yeah, if you haven't gotten your access yet, you should within the next week or two. I know they threw out something. I think the date was possibly June 30th. Where I think they want to have everybody in by then or something, it sounded like, or maybe that's when they're going to make it available to the general public, beyond people who just were in the big launch for Marketing Secrets. So yeah, they're working on rolling it out slowly, and I'm glad to see that because you're getting in here, you're burning through a bunch of tokens, so you want to make sure that what it's given you is good stuff. Yeah. But again, I would say do as much outside of the build feature in here as you possibly can, because the build feature is where it costs you the big bucks. Yep. And be careful about leaving that research button turned on, because if you don't need it to go out and research a bunch of stuff for you, because as I've heard a couple of people say now, because you just put in a regular prompt, regular English prompt, and they refer to this now as speaking it into existence. And so that's exactly what you're doing here, is you are giving the AI the instructions on what you want it to build. And like I've been harping on for weeks, everything in AI is about giving it instructions.
Yeah. So with that said, if you have access to Overskill, go have fun, play with it, and report back. Tell us what you build or what you're going to build. You can just drop a comment below this video, and we'd love to hear, how will you use Overskill?
Well, yeah, and when you build something, if you can drop a link in there, I'd be curious to see. Because my biggest thing, I look at this and I go, okay, great, it's cool. What do I need built? I just draw a blank. As soon as I start thinking like that, I go, I really can't think of anything I need an app for right now. So then I need to start thinking about, okay,
what could you sell?
Yeah, what could I sell or give away to somebody that would be useful to them?
It could be your ninja hacks. Now you build it in an app and you put in the elements that you want them to be able to change. Color, the way the carousel spins. And now here's the other thing, Dan. They just get the embed code. So all your secrets in your carousels and how you do them are all just in the embed code.
Oh, hidden.
Protected.
It's all the mystery. So now I'm going to have to build that. See, man, now
you have no excuse.
I have, right, exactly. Now I have enough things on my plate, and now I have to go and build an app to be able to do cool stuff like that. So life sucks. So, okay, there you go.
All right. And with that, we'll see you guys all next week.